For the final request of February, here's Smallfoot, the 2018 Warner Animation Group film. After a successful franchise with the Lego Movie and the funny one-off, Storks, I was curious to see the studio take the direction of a musical. I saw it in theaters and I didn't think it was very special at the time, but I rewatched it for this video. Has it improved at all? Smallfoot is the story of a yeti population living at the top of a mountain, living off the rules of the Stonekeeper, ancient tablets that explain the history of the place they live. However, secretly below, there's humans living life as normal, and unexpectedly, a yeti named Migo discovers a human he calls a Smallfoot, and tries to spread the truth to the rest of the village, while a nature documentary filmmaker named Percy tries to capitalize on the rumors of yetis in the human village. It's a cute enough premise, even though we've kind of seen it before. It's a group that's scared of the other, only to find out that both sides are scared of each other. You've seen it in Monsters Inc., Trolls, Horton Hears a Who. It's not original, but I figured it would do a few new things with the concept to really make it unique and take on a new environment. Unfortunately, it's extremely predictable and doesn't contain anything that helps for it to stick out. It doesn't have a lot of personality, good humor, or exceptional music. Things start out normal enough, with an opening song and Migo explaining how normal their community is, and they have no need to venture out further. It's pretty much exactly how Moana opened up back in 2016. I know I keep bringing up other movies that you can compare this to, but it's hard to ignore how it takes a ton of different animation tropes from the last decade, smashes it together, and trims it down to the bare minimum. After that, Migo sees a human, but the evidence disappears before he can show the other yetis. This is a cliche I'm starting to get annoyed of, and it immediately leads to him being banished for his beliefs in the Smallfoot, which is another typical story idea that I'm getting sick of. He meets with a secret group of yetis, including the Stonekeeper's daughter, who all believe the stones are covered with lies, and that the Smallfoot exists. This portion is interesting, but there's 4 characters introduced here, none of which are clever or memorable. There's not enough time for them to all be introduced, so they're all given very basic characterizations that you've seen a million times before. So the excitement of a group going against the mold and revealing the truth to those in power ends up feeling boring. When the truth does get exposed to the other yetis in the village, the Stonekeeper privately tells Migo he already knew the truth, and all the seemingly pointless jobs that the yetis take on actually help to create a steamy cloud around the mountain, which helps to hide the very truth Migo discovered. Once again, this is crap we've seen before. I know this story. I've heard the one about the people in power who are trying to cover up the secret existence of the other or of humans. Come on, Warner Brothers, I've seen Happy Feet. This has been done before. Can't there be any sort of originality? With the human side of the story, we spend time with James Corden's character, Percy, a spoiled brat of a host who's annoying and frustrating. I've said it before, I have a guilty pleasure for James Corden, but I'll admit when he has an absolutely obnoxious performance. Here, he's supposed to either be a comedic relief or sidekick, or both, but this just doesn't work. He's grating and unlikable, and at one point he does this version of Under Pressure that has different lyrics, singing about his dreams of going viral. This is the crux of his story. Percy wants to become YouTube famous and get rich. This is the compelling journey the movie has to offer? Speaking of the music, there's not too many good tunes. It seems to be taking notes from so many basic molds of musicals that have come before, and even with the talents of Common and Zendaya, nothing really sticks. As a musical, it's subpar, repetitive, and has a limited amount of songs. For being considered a musical, it strangely doesn't have a lot to offer. There's only about 3 or 4 songs, even though it has a cast comprised of musicians. The casting is also abysmal. In a time where animated features are relying less and less on big names for the trailers and posters, there's every once in a while something like Smallfoot, which was so insane with their marketing campaign. A guy on Twitter literally made a meme about the ads that were used. Besides being big names, I don't think the actors really fit their roles. Channing Tatum's voice doesn't meld with the goofy-looking Yeti. Common isn't good as a big tribal leader. I would expect the Stonekeeper's voice to be tough and commanding, but Common is too smooth and calming, so when his secrets are revealed, the scene doesn't really work. I can't really take him seriously. Everyone else is barely given a chance to express themselves, even Danny DeVito, who has a voice all his own, totally made for animated voiceover, yet I remember very little of him. I'll at least applaud the animators on the look of the environments. The snow mountains and precipitation can make for some dazzling colors and shot creations. Honestly, Warner Animation Group has hired some of the best talent when it comes to animation expertise. While it's not an entirely humorous movie, it at least pays tribute to the roots of Warner Brothers itself. A lot of the slapstick is funny, embodying the classic Looney Tunes shorts. There's not enough of it, and it's not on the same level as Storks, but for being a simple musical with simple storytelling, I'm glad that they still attempted some outside-the-box visual gags. However, the character designs are awkward and ugly. Besides the humans, the unexpressive eyes and oddly shaped bodies of the yetis don't lend themselves to too much creativity or visual pleasure. I'm not sure what it is, but when you're making a design where the body is extremely similar to a human, I wish they'd either come up with something different or really mess with the proportions. In the end, they look a bit like giants, but everything seems incorrect and intangible. I would never want to see a toy or action figure of these yetis, and I know merchandising isn't the point, but I mean that they don't really have a fluent look. Otherwise, I don't have too much to say about this one. Only a year later, DreamWorks would release Abominable, an unrelated Yeti-like movie. It doesn't have much in common with this, but based on the story and character designs, it was an all-around much better film. My point is, if you're going to watch something with yetis, give that one a watch first. Sadly, 3 years later, and at home, watching Smallfoot just feels the same as it did before. I'm not into it, I don't remember it much, and I don't really have much to say about it either. Maybe I should have given that Yeti Set Go sing-along version a try. Maybe that would have really fixed things. Which is weird they have a sing-along for this movie anyway. Like I said, there's like 4 songs? I guess I could have sang along with James Corden to Under Pressure. You know, I didn't know you could do that with a musical. Just have a, very popular song, remove the lyrics and make your own lyrics. Seems kind of cheap. Under pressure, do 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 do. Under pressure, Smallfoot really sucks. Don't go watch it. Don't buy it. No. See, I could do that. Is that what a musical is now? Thanks for watching.
Thanks to Ryan for this Patreon request. Thanks for watching the video, and special shout out to Anthony, Anna, Kirsten, Lucas, Ryan, and Robert for the support on Patreon. By joining my Patreon, you can get exclusive videos and blogs, and for only $7, you can request your own movie review. I hope you stick around, cinephile, and have a happy, productive day.